Hi and welcome to another one of our videos where today I'm going to be talking about the specific timing of what you should be using when you're specifically doing cutting drills that we've been featuring a bit on our YouTube channel recently. So firstly, let's define cutting if you're not sure what that means, but that's basically the explosive change of direction that you'd see in games like soccer, basketball, tennis. So in soccer, the change of direction to evade opponent or even to chase one. Very much the same thing in basketball. You see this a lot in a crossover move. In tennis, it's like getting back to the centre of the court. So we could get going through hockey, football. Basically get the idea of this sort of foot planted out quite wide to explosively accelerate back in the opposite direction. You can sort of see this stiffness here and that foot planted. That's where the cutting movement comes in. All right, so how do you improve this ability? So obviously using plyometrics and jumping drills specific to that sort of same movement. You can sort of see here that leg coming out quite stiff and wide. These are the simple drills that lead to harder. And you can see that cutting drill again there, and there it is again there. All sort of different movements, and they're all great exercises, but you can make some big mistakes. Obviously with how you're doing it is the most important thing. So learning the skills always important first, but in addition to that is actually knowing how long to do it for. So the biggest mistake I see people make is doing these exercises too long. All right, these exercises must be short and explosive because it's exactly what they are in the game. These are not fitness exercises, so you're not trying to get sweaty or puffed out, even feel muscle fatigue from this. If you're feeling fatigue, you're doing it wrong. So too many reps promotes fatigue, and the timing becomes slow. And when the timing becomes slow, obviously you're going to have poor performance, but now you're really risking injury from this because you're actually completely disrupting the timing of the mechanism that you need to do that with. So it's where we see this sort of type of training, the no pain, no gain approach, and boot camps really abusing these exercises, not really understanding what they're for and how they're meant to be used. And the quality of them is just so paramountly important because these cutting moves are exactly where we see ACL injuries occur in non-contact situations, exactly from that. So these sort of things happen when people learn poor skills or train abusing principles of movement and make themselves worse. All right, so the biggest mistake is going for too long using this sort of stupid approach to that type of training. How long do you need to do it then? Well, it all comes down to the energy system, and if you don't know what these energy systems are, then you really need to understand them. One most people are familiar with is the aerobic one, and this is where the boot camps come in and everything goes for ages, and you can this is seconds down the bottom here, right? And you can sort of see I don't really need to use this sort of system in the short and sharp stuff, explosive, but once it sort of starts getting above the minute, and especially above the minute and a half, it's about the minute and a half where you see the lactate is sort of coming down and the aerobic system's rising up. This is where most people work, and this is where it's really a low intensity exercise that you can sustain for ages, because this is the last system you're left with. All right. The lactate one is the one that's sort of when you feel the muscles burning, like if you're sprinting up a hill or riding a bike hard up a hill, and you've got about that roughly 90 seconds to 2 minutes before you're going to get that build up of lactate in the system, and you're going to just have to stop and come to a crawl, and then that's when you switch over to a different energy system, being the aerobic. Now the one with these movements that we're talking about are in this first system, the lactic system, or you could sort of phosphate. It's pretty much entirely carbohydrates, and these are just really, you can sort of see in terms of seconds, really drops away dramatically from about just after 10 seconds. It's probably around about 12, but in the cutting movements, they're not really even getting to that point. A cutting movement is not even 1 second. All right, it's a one-off move done really explosively fast to get you away. If you did 2 or 3 of them in succession, and you've ever seen anyone do that, it slows down remarkably quick. All right, so to get the most out of the training, you have to train in very short amount of seconds. So you can't use reps for this. You use seconds and time most for doing this. All right. So how many seconds? Well, 3 to 8 seconds. I don't want to go to 10 to 12 because it brings on fatigue. I really want to cut it off well before that. So most of the time we probably like 6 seconds, and that'll count as one set. It doesn't sound like a lot, but remember the importance is on quality and perfect stiffness to explode. So like I was saying a minute ago, it's a one-off move that happens in a game, and it happens in a split second. It doesn't even get to a second. So to get the most out of it, you've got to keep and to be exactly like the timing you're looking for. It's got to be really short and sharp. So to get more practice at it, you just use multiple sets. So, you know, maybe 4 to 6 sets mixed in with some drills of some mobilizing stuff or doing something completely different. Maybe even you're on the basketball court and you shoot some free throws, or you do some serves and you come back and practice your drills again, right? You've got to allow no fatigue to creep in because it compromises the quality of it. Right, so examples of some of the videos you'll see on the YouTube channel of these cutting drills. These are the simplified ones, and these are really just like the breaking thing. These aren't like, we're not going into straight away into the cutting at first. We're just learning to stick and hold, and there's a little pause between each one. So really, it's one rep that lasts, you know, a second, and then we wait a few seconds and then do the next one. And we will only do a maximum of 6 reps before we change. And if we do the cutting drill like this one, we might only do it 2 times tops. Whereas these drills are very much entirely explosive for the entire time. So the minute you say go, bang, it's on. So we'll use the time ratio to do this, and 3 to 6 seconds counts as one set. All right, so and then we'll go away and do something else, and then we'll come back and do it again. All right, so it's really important to understand, if you're going to get the most out of these drills, that you've got to work really, really short and fast. Otherwise, you're going to really make it worse, and you're going to expose yourself to injury in the long term. So if you want some extra help on any of this, there's plenty of ideas that we have in our free report, the functional training free report, and the little black book gives you a massive amount of workouts, 101 different workouts you can use. Just go to our website, make sure you look in the description under the video. There's heaps of links to those videos I've just shown you there if you haven't seen them before, and plenty of articles that you can check out with heaps of information to help you out. Alright, so I hope you enjoy that, and we'll see you on our next video.